The rest of these should be rather easy and straightforward. RC receiver. It went right here. CRSF on these two pins and Mavlink on UART 7 right here. So using UART 6 and 7. For this particular flight controller, it's really simple because it's all detailed right here. You have to set board alternate config to 1. That changes the serial port. You have to set the protocol for that serial port to a 23. And for CRSF down here, you have to set serial 7 options to 0. So let's see. Again, how do we do that? Board alt config and then serial 7. Okay. So BRD alt config. Set it to 1 here, you see. Don't know why. They said to do it. I do it. I do know why, but. And then we're talking what? Serial 7 to start with. And on serial 7, we set 23. It says RCN. I don't care what it says right here. It works. And that's what I'm told to do. That's what I do. So there is serial 7 options also here. It says set that to a 0. It does not say a single word about the baud rate. In addition to this, you remember we had both UART 6 right here, serial 7 that we're talking about right now, as CRSF. But we also had UART 7, this UART 7, for our Mavlink, and we're talking about serial 1 in Ardu. You see here serial 1 that UART we're connected to Mavlink 2 protocol, 115 baud rate. Now I'm having a little trouble with my Mavlink. We don't know why yet. Might not be able to figure out why. But they don't say a single thing about this. I just happen to know about it. There's a request to send, clear to send normally on that channel. That's just really set up for that old 3DR telemetry radio. Everything keeps going back to that. On controllers where they have clear to send and request to send as part of that telemetry radio. Now this parameter is by default set to 2, which is auto. Do I know if that's working? No. So I will go back at some point when I get ready to play with my Mavlink to try to make it a little better. When I find out that it fails, it worked good the past few days. I actually used it as the connection when I calibrated my compass because I didn't want to have to deal with that big old USB cable. So I connected with Mavlink through Crossfire transmitter and the computer and told it to calibrate the compass, and I had just the platform in my hand. I didn't have to deal with any wires. And I spun it around and did the compass dance and calibrated that compass. It worked perfectly. When I flew it outdoors, it was just outside the basement door. A normal door, not the big garage door that you can open here. Just a small door was open. And there's dirt concrete walls actually between the two, I still kept a telemetry connection in the basement while I did those 2 little flights outside, just my startup flights. Now then, I did pop the telemetry power up on that Crossfire Nano Pro to middle telemetry output, because I'd already seen a little telemetry problem in the Mavlink just here on the bench. So I will be playing with that in the field, and this is what I will be playing with for starters, because I don't know about this. It says flow control will be auto-detected by checking for the output buffer filling on startup. I guess if you... Well, I'm going to leave that to them. We're not going to sit here and discuss this. Yeah, boy, see, they're still talking about a 3DR radio right here. Huh, man. Anyway, so I'm going to play with that. I would have to sit here and... Flow control will be auto-detected by checking the output for the output buffer filling on startup. Well, if you don't have clear to send, you're not going to get a request to send, or I guess you're going to sit there and wait on a request to send. Oh, yeah, that's exactly how it could work. Okay, you assume that you're going to have a request to send before you start transmitting data, and you look at your output buffer. If your output buffer, no, yeah. So you start up. If you do get a request to send from the peripheral, you'll just start sending, and your output buffer will never fill up. That's assuming that you've got it set where you assume there's a request to send has to come. So in that condition, if that request to send never comes and starts your transmission, your output buffer is going to fill up. And detecting that filling, you can say, whoops, I didn't get a request to send. My peripheral must not be able to send a request to send to me. So I'm not going to use clear to send, request to send protocol. I'm going to go step down to no protocol at all and go with that. So I can see how that would work that way. Again, is it working correctly? I don't know. You can come in here and disable it and see what kind of throughput and distance you get. You can come in here and just enable it and see what throughput and what kind of distance you get. It's easy to do with a quad. You can write a little program that says go out 50 yards. You can detect the difference in signal on those two things. If there's no difference, then might as well set it back to the default auto. But I'm digressing here, thinking about what I should do. That takes care of the receiver, basically, the Mavlink and the CRSF. So I'm going to drop out. We're going to see how long this is, and we'll see if we continue or stop. Well, it looks like I'm doing better, so let's see if we can get at least one of the last two items in. Okay, now we're going to talk about the Runcam camera support real quick, and the first thing I want to do right here is rotate this around for you so we can look right through here. This is where I connected the camera video. This was the voltage for the camera. I chose this ground for the camera. and I use TX1 right here for the 2 pins for the UART on the camera, Runcam Phoenix 2 Josh Bardwell edition. You need the 2 pins. Transmit goes to receive, receive goes to transmit. That's UART1. So that becomes on the flight controller. Yikes. I can shut this down. Yikes. That becomes on this flight controller. Serial 2, you see. So if we go in here real quick and look, serial 2, and if you look right here, 26 right here, Runcam. That's all you have to do. I'm not giving any other values for this, a serial 2 option or a baud rate. So I'm leaving them at defaults. There is one other little parameter. Camera RC type 1 for a Runcam split, a Runcam with a UART, whatever. This can do much more than I'm going to do with it, because I really don't need to do anything with it, to tell you the God's awful truth, because I'm not real impressed with its workings. I don't think Josh Bardwell was either when he described it himself. So we're going to throw up camera here. We're going to have to put some voltage on the platform to get that transmitter and camera to come up. And we're also going to have to raise the power on the transmitter. Oops, 100 milliwatts. Let's see if we can drop that down. Oops, I need to pick up my radio. There we go, 25 milliwatts. We're transmitting that right now. It's not what I'm supposed to be showing you. That's smart audio. That comes next. What I'm supposed to be showing you is now, with that set up, what I need to do is get to a blank screen too. Yeah, I'm going to do that real quick. I'll just do it with you watching. I haven't set these up here, so I'm going to come into screen 3, clear it. I'm going to write that customization. And then I've got to give myself a channel. Channel 8. Channel 8. I think that'll do it right there. Write all that out. Can I switch screens now? Sure can. With a little button on a switch on my radio now switches screens for me. Now then, oops, I don't have it set the way I want to. Okay, now with a blank screen, if I put the throttle at mid and I bump the roll to the right, remote mode comes up. Can you see that? Me neither. And if I bump that to the right, I get main menu. Oh, I'm sorry. That says main menu, doesn't it? I can't see this junk. That's my problem with it. That's probably why I won't use it. I think that's auto exposure on and off. So if I bump this handle down, this works like the joystick now on the camera that you connect to the camera. Here's day and night mode. So this is up and down, you see. Up, down, up. This, the throttle key, right and left, becomes the enter and exit key. So if I come down, well, if I go to day-night and I go to the right here, you see I go into day-night mode. There's color. If I go down, oops. Oh, there's black and white, color. So if I go down now and I go to the right, that's an enter for that return I'm on. There we go. If I go left, I'm back out of the thing completely. So basically it's right, right, inside control, whatever you want to. Supposedly go in and set up whatever you want to. If you can read it, I can't. And that may have to do with my font. I will play with that later too. So right now while I'm on exit, I can go right and I'm out of it. Oops, remote mode. Now I'm completely out of it. So that's what happens with that. That's all that happens with that. There is a little deeper control where in the OSD menu you can go in and change things. That's in Arducopter. I'm not going to go that deep in this. I'm just going to go basically what the basic Runcam control can do. And that's what I set up on this quad. I'm going to set the camera the way I want it, and I'm never going to change it in the field, in my humble opinion at this time. But I do have the ability to do it. That's long enough for this one, and our last subject might take a little time, so I'm going to say thank you.